it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Today's video is going to be all about the stimulus check. So if you aren't familiar with what's going on in the US, our government has given us a economic stimulus relief package. It passed last week, and it called for $1,400 payments to Americans to help with kind of relief based on this whole pandemic. So we are a family of 4, and so we received $1,400 for each of us, which is a grand total of $5,600. And I'm just going to sit down here and write up a budget for what we're going to do with that money. We have been very blessed in this situation that my husband has not had any sort of lapse in work. He's been able to work this entire time. He's an essential worker. He works in the sewer and drain cleaning industry in the plumbing field. So, he's not suffered any loss of work. We've been healthy throughout this, thankfully. And so our income has not really been affected. I know thousands of Americans are out of work right now because of everything going on. People are really struggling to make the ends meet. We've been really blessed not to be in that situation. So this money for us is just kind of an extra blessing. We don't need to use it to kind of catch up on our bills. We've been able to pay our bills on time and everything. So this money is just a huge blessing for us. We're so grateful to have it, and we are going to be able to do some really great things with it. So I have just a blank notes page here in my Franken planner. This is actually part of my Erin Condren monthly planner that I uncoiled and Franken planned into my Franken planner. If you missed that video on how I did that, I will link it in a card above, but this is where I'm going to write out my stimulus budget. So I'm just going to write stimulus budget right up here at the top. This is actually the 3rd stimulus check that we have received since this whole thing started, but it is by far the biggest check we've received. So we are very excited to have it. Very, very blessed. And let's just go ahead and talk about what we're going to do with this money. So it is $5,600. It was deposited into my account this morning, direct deposit. I was shocked at how quickly it came. So we have it, and we're ready to make it work for us. So if you have never watched one of my YouTube videos before, this is your first time here. First of all, welcome to my channel. Thanks for clicking on my video today. A little bit of backstory. So my husband and I have been on a journey to pay off our debt, our credit card debt, for well over a year now. We have been chipping away slowly, paying down our debt using the debt snowball method. We pay all of the minimum payments on all of our credit cards when they're due, but we also put any extra money that we can towards our credit cards, kind of one card at a time. And the card we're currently working on is our Amazon card. Let me show you guys my little chart here in the back. We just started tackling this Amazon card at the start of March. You can see we haven't made very much progress on it. We've actually made a little bit more progress than this, and I haven't updated it, but we started out with $4,573.03 on this card, and we had a plan of attack. We were just going to send, as much as we could towards this card and hopefully get it paid off in a couple of months. But because of the stimulus check, we're actually going to be able to pay off this Amazon card today, which is really, really exciting. I'm going to be doing a whole separate debt snowball update, talking about paying this card off and what card we're going to be tackling next. So you guys will see that kind of later on down the line. But we're going to put a big chunk of this stimulus budget right towards our Amazon card. So our Amazon card as of today has a total of $4,121.42. So right off the bat, we are taking a majority of this stimulus check and we're going to pay off that Amazon card. We talked about the possibility of taking a chunk of this and putting it towards savings. We talked about, using it to complete some home projects and just spending it. But ultimately, our main goal and purpose right now is to pay down our debt. And what better way to use a big portion of this money than to get that Amazon card paid off? We are going to save a fortune in interest by doing this. Our Amazon card has something ridiculous like 29% interest. And it's got, as you can see, a huge balance. So we are feeling so blessed to be able to pay that card off today and have a little bit of money left over to do some other things. So if we take that $5,600 and we subtract that $4,121.42, that leaves us with $1,478.58 to work with. So what are we going to do with the rest of that? Well, we are going to put quite a bit towards sinking funds. So we're going to put a total of $756 to sinking funds. And I will break down the sinking funds that we are going to fund with this money once I tell you what we're going to do with the rest. So from that $1,478.58, $756 is going towards sinking funds. That leaves us with $722.58. We are going to take $400 of that and we are going to do what I said. We're going to do some home projects, stimulate the economy a little bit. That's a big part of what this stimulus package is all about, is stimulating our economy, keeping businesses open. So that we're just going to kind of earmark for spending. That's kind of what we decided. We're going to do a few home projects, like I said. Probably will go out to dinner or buy a few things that we've been wanting. I don't really have a specific plan for that $400. We're just going to kind of take it out of the bank and put it into an envelope to be used whenever, whenever we decide to. So that leaves us with $322.58, and that $322.58 is going to go to debt as well. So I haven't decided quite yet what credit card we're going to tackle once this Amazon card is paid off. We have 3 more cards to go once Amazon is paid off. So I need to sit down with my husband and kind of figure out exactly what card we're going to tackle next. You guys will hear all about that in that upcoming debt snowball update that I talked about. But that $322.58 is going to go right towards whatever card we decide to tackle next, which I'm excited about. So already we are taking another big bite out of another credit card. So that is a look at where our stimulus money is going. I would really like to hear from you. Did you qualify for the stimulus check? What is your plan for it? Leave me a comment down below. Now let's break down the sinking funds we're going to add money to. So if you watched my video that I did about my husband's 3rd paycheck for March, you'll know that he got a bonus this week. Seemed like we got all of this extra money all at once, which was a huge blessing. So we bulked up our sinking funds a little bit with that paycheck. We're going to bulk them up even further with this paycheck. So we added a bunch of money to our anniversary fund and our campground fund and our car maintenance, as well as a few others. Like I said, check out that video if you missed it. So we're not going to add any money to those. Instead, I'm going to focus on some of the sinking funds that I've sort of neglected a little bit. So we are going to start out with our clothing sinking fund. I for sure need a few new clothing pieces for spring. My husband needs a few things as well, so we really wanted to add some money to our clothing sinking fund, and we're going to add $157 to that fund today. And you guys will see a cash envelope stuffing at the end of this video. We're going to go ahead and stuff all of these sinking funds together. Next up is gasoline. So typically the way that our gasoline sinking fund works is I budget $40 every single week for us to use in gas. And if at the end of the week we have anything left over, we stick it into our gasoline fund. We don't typically just pull cash out of a paycheck and stick it directly into our gas sinking fund, but I decided since we were blessed with this money, I would go ahead and add $50 into our gas sinking fund. That's going to bring that fund up to an even $300, and that's pretty much all I really need to have in extra gas money at any given time. So that's going to fully fund that sinking fund for now, which is exciting. Next up, we have haircuts. We're just going to add $20 to our haircut fund. That's all that we kind of need to be able to take my 3 guys for haircuts. Next up is holidays. So we are currently saving for Easter. That's right around the corner. So we're going to go ahead and fully fund our Easter sinking fund as well, our holidays sinking fund rather. So we're going to add $90 to that so that we will then have all of the money that we need to be able to go and do our Easter shopping. We have household, which we are going to add $34 to kind of bring it up to an even number. Same with our pets fund. We're just going to kind of even it out and add $59 to that. For property taxes, that's another one that we're just kind of adding a little bit of money to bring it up to a nice round number. So we're going to add $16 to that. School expenses. This is a sinking fund that we have for back to school clothes and supplies and stuff for my kiddo. So we're going to add $80 to that. And lastly, we have my vacation fund, and this is going to get a big chunk. We want to be able to have money set aside for our camping trips and stuff throughout the summer. So we're going to add $250 to that fund. So if we add all of these up, that should equal out to this $756 here that I budgeted for sinking funds. So hopefully I have done my math correctly. Let's go ahead and double check. So we have 157 plus 50 plus 20 plus 90 plus 34 plus 59 plus 16 plus 80 plus 250 for a grand total of 756. So that is the plan. I'm really, really excited about this. I'm going to go ahead and go to the bank and withdraw this sinking fund money, this $756, plus the $400 for spending. This Amazon money and this other $322 I'm going to leave in the bank so I can make those debt payments. I'll be right back and we will stuff some sinking funds. So exciting. Be right back. Okay, so I went to the bank. I pulled out all of the cash that I'm going to need to stuff all of my sinking funds for the stimulus budget. So I'm pretty much all set and ready. I needed to pull out a grand total. I added everything up and I needed to pull out a grand total of $1,036. So that is what I have here. I actually stole one of my little cash envelope breakdown sheets from my Budget by Paycheck workbook to figure out exactly the denominations I need to pull out. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as a reference. So yeah, I needed $1,036. I have that all here. We're just going to count it up and make sure. So I have, and these $100 bills are all stuck together, so I'm going to have to be real careful here. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800, 850, 870, 890, 910, 930, 950, 970, 980, 990, 1000, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. So that is 1036. Got a little tongue-tied there around the 20s, but I managed it. So I'm just going to lay this money out across the top. So we needed 11 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I just want to make sure that all of my denominations are accurate. I didn't make any mistakes, or the bank teller didn't make any mistakes. So we have 3 5s, 1, 2, 3. That'll go up here. We have 4 10s, 1, 2, 3, 4 10s, good. 6 20s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 50s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And lastly, 5 100s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are good to go. And everything all lined up. And we're just going to kind of go down the list. So I guess I should actually pull out my accordion folder first. I keep all of my sinking funds in an accordion folder here. Each of my funds has its own tab divider in my accordion folder, and that's just how I store the cash. It makes it really easy. This whole thing gets locked up in my safe, so I don't have to worry about it getting lost or stolen. So yeah, I'm just going to go in and pull out each of the funds one at a time, and we'll fill them up. So the first one we're focusing on is clothing. So my clothing fund has $43 in it, and we're going to add $157. And that should be then a total of $200. So what I like to do is just put in the date, how much money I am adding, which, as I said, is $157, for a total of $200. Then I will just add the cash. So a $100 bill, a $50 bill, a 5, and 2 ones. 1, 2, so that's 150, 55, 56, 57. Then I will lump the cash in here. And then I always like to count everything up and just make sure I didn't make any mistakes. So we have 100, 50, 70, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. Or 200 rather. Alright, so that takes care of clothing. That's all set. This will go back into my accordion folder behind the clothing tag. And I'm just going to go ahead and check this off so that I know that I took care of clothing. Next up is my gasoline fund. So you guys saw in my budget, we're adding $50 to the gasoline fund. So that's what I wrote in here. And my gasoline fund right now has $250 in it. So we're going to bring it up to $300, and that is actually going to complete this fund. I don't think that I need to have any more than around $300 extra in gas at any given time. I reserve the right to change my mind later on down the line, but for now I'm satisfied with this. So we're going to add the 50 and count it up. 50, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, $300. So every single week when I do my weekly budget, I give myself $40 in gas money. So this is just extra in addition to that in case I need it. So if I'm making a bunch of trips back and forth or we have to go a long distance, I never want to run out of gas and not have money in reserve to add more gas. So that's what this gasoline fund is for. So that takes care of that. So excited to be able to finish that fund up thanks to the stimulus money. We're going to check that off and move on to haircuts. My haircuts fund has $40 in it. We said we were going to add 20, which you can see here. Decided just to add a $20 bill. So that's what we will do for a total of $60. So I'm going to update my card here. And that is everything that I need for my husband and our 2 children to get haircuts. I'm going to need to save up a little bit more if I want to have my hair cut or colored or anything like that. I don't know why I said that. I haven't had my hair colored professionally ever in my entire life, but should I get a wild hair and decide to do that, I'll need to save up more. But at least my boys can get haircuts. They obviously need haircuts much more often than I do. Well, I don't know if that's obvious, but that's the case. So that's that. Next up, we have holidays. The holiday that we are currently saving for is Easter. Our holidays fund right now has $110 in it, and we're going to add 90 more to bring it up to $200, which is a nice number for Easter for us. That'll buy the items for my kids' Easter baskets as well as our Easter dinner. We don't do a big extravagant Easter by any means. We save our big extravagances for Christmas. So we're going to add $90. Just double check my budget here, make sure that's right. Yep, $90 here, $90 there, a 50 and 2 20s. So we have 50, 70, 90. All right, 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. Awesome, so that's fully funded. I can go and get everything I need for my Easter celebration. And then of course, once Easter is over, we will use this holiday fund to start saving for the next holiday, which is Mother's Day. So we don't have separate funds for each of those holidays because it would just be a little silly to have that many different envelopes. In my opinion, I have plenty of sinking funds. My accordion folder is pretty much full, so we just use one holidays fund. And that encompasses all the holidays that are not Christmas. Okay, so next up I have household. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I had a household fund as well as a personal care fund. And I actually just married those two. It was silly for me to have 2 separate funds for things when I'm buying all of my household and personal care items at Walmart. And the transactions are always combined, so I just combined the 2 funds, as you can see here on my little card. There's $116 in this fund right now, and we're adding 34 to bring this up to a nice round 150. So, yep, 34, a 20, a 10, and 4 ones. So we have a 20, a 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. We'll just slip these in here. I swear sometimes I wish I had an extra hand or two. That would make this much easier. But got it done there, so now we'll count. 50, 100, 20, 30, 40, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So this will buy any of the things that I need for the household, whether it be toilet paper or cleaning supplies, laundry detergent, shampoo and conditioner, perfume, anything like that. Well, not really perfume, I guess, but pretty much anything that we need that is not food from Walmart is going to come out of this fund. Okay, so that's household done. We'll check that off. Next up is our pet fund. That covers anything from cat food to cat litter to vet appointments and that sort of thing. We have $41 in here and we're adding $59 to bring it all the way up to $100. As you can see with this stimulus budget, I really tried just to kind of round out all of my sinking funds. Since we had the extra money, I thought that that was a good idea. So, yeah, that's going to bring it up to 100. So 59 there, 59 there. I always just double and triple check myself to make sure I didn't make any errors, because that will throw off my whole budget if I mess up at all. So for this, we're going to do a 50, a 5, and 4 ones. So 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. Okay. All right. 50, 70, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, $100. Good to go. All right. So next we have our property taxes, and I'm not adding a ton of money to this fund. We keep pretty small. Don't need a ton of money. We pay our property taxes in the winter and the summer, but they're super low. So there's $24 in there now, and we're going to add 16 just to bring it up to 40, which is pretty much the highest that our bill goes. We're just paying property tax on our shed since we live in a mobile home. So we're adding 16 for a total of 40. So we're going to add a 10, a 5, and a 1. Let's count it up and make sure that that's 40. So we have 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. So that's pretty much fully funded, and we'll just sit here ready for when our property tax bill comes in. And that takes care of that. Next up, we have school expenses, which I said was going to get 80. That is accurate. So this is for back to school clothes and school supplies, that sort of thing. It's only got $20 in there, so we don't really do any shopping until August. So we have plenty of time to continue to add to this, but for now I just wanted to get it up to an even 100. So we're going to add 80. And we chose to do that in denominations of a 50, a 20, and a 10. 50, 70, 80, 50, 70, 90, 100. Perfect. So that gives us a nice little base to start out with. Next up, we have vacation. And we're doing $250 to our vacation fund. It only has $50 in there now, so that'll bring it up to a cool $300. And that is plenty for us to be able to get all of the camping supplies and things that we need. We have a camper that we go to pretty much every weekend in the summer. It sits at a campsite. It stays there all year round, so everything is kind of set up there. We just need this money for, you know, propane, food, that sort of thing. So we said $250 for vacation is accurate. $250 for vacation. 2 $100 bills and a 50. All right, easy peasy. 1, 2, and 50. And that does round up to 300. 1, 2, 253. So that is our vacation fund all set. And that's the last thing on my list here, with the exception of spending money. So if we look back here at my stimulus budget, you guys see up here that I put $400 to spending. I decided to pull that out in cash just to make it easy, or at least a portion of that I'm pulling out in cash. So of that $400, 280 of it we pulled out in cash. The other 120 we left in the bank to cover something that I used my debit card for. So that means that there should just be 280 left here. So we have 1, 2, 250, 270, 280. This is just extra spending money. We've got some projects and stuff around the house, as I mentioned at the start of this video. So this I'm actually going to stick into my wallet here, and I'm going to just kind of stick it off into this little side pocket, because it's spending money, but it's not going into my spending envelope, because it's not just for me, it's for my whole family. We can eat out, or we can do whatever we want with that money. Okay, so that is all of the cash stuffed. That is all of the aspects of our stimulus budget taken care of. Last thing I'm going to do, which I should have done much, much sooner, is just add everything up on my calculator here, so you can see that we allocated that full $5,600. We wanted a zero-based budget for this. So we said $4,121.42 for my Amazon card. $756 went to our sinking funds, which you guys just saw me stuff. $400 into spending. $322.58 to debt, for a grand total of $5,600. I apologize for all of the reflections of the lights. It's a very dreary day here, so I needed to light everything up for you guys to be able to see, but that is my stimulus budget. That's where all of that stimulus money is going to go. I am so excited to see my Amazon card get paid off and to see all of my sinking funds nice and bulked up. This accordion folder is getting very fat indeed, so I might consider making some exchanges for bills to get this a little less chunky, but a chunky accordion folder means that we are doing great with our sinking funds, so I can't be too upset with that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please take a minute and give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're planning to do with your stimulus money, as I mentioned earlier in this video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, friends.